Welcome, rockhounds, tectonic titans, and all you curious earthlings. Today, we are diving deep, and I mean literally, into the ultimate secret weapon for professional geologists. We are going to take you from mapping amateur to total pro. So have you ever been staring at a map of the ocean floor and noticed that some parts look like a super crisp, high-definition photo, while right next to it, other parts look like a blurry smudge from a webcam from like 1998? If you have, you're in exactly the right place. Well, here's the secret. It's not about having a good map versus a bad one. The real difference is knowing how to use a professional tool to see what the data is actually telling you. And this, my friends, is that tool, GeoMapApp. Now, this is not just another map viewer you find online. No. It's a seriously sophisticated analytical engine. It's a gateway to a massive vault of data, developed at Columbia's top-tier Lamont-Doherty Earth Observatory. It lets you go from looking at huge global-scale tectonics right down to inspecting tiny little hydrothermal vent fields on the seafloor. Okay, let's get into it. Before we even get to the pretty pictures, we have to talk about setting this thing up the right way, the professional way. This is, without a doubt, the most critical first step to unlocking its true power. Look, if you just download the app and double-click the icon to open it, you might find your computer starts, gasping for air the second you try to load a big, high-density survey. It'll get slow, it'll freeze, it might even crash on you. It's frustrating. And this right here perfectly illustrates the difference. The amateur approach is to double-click and just hope for the best. The professional approach is to take control right from the start, using the command line. Now, I know that sounds a little intimidating, but trust me, it's incredibly simple and it makes all the difference. So, what we're talking about is something called heap size. It sounds technical, but it's just a fancy term for the amount of memory, or RAM, you give the program to work with. Think of it like this. The default setting gives the program a tiny little cutting board. But for the huge data sets we use, we need a massive workbench. That default 512 megabytes, that's the tiny cutting board. It's just not enough. This little line of text right here, this is your magic wand. By opening up a terminal window and just typing this in, you're telling your computer, hey, give this program a full 2 gigabyte workbench. This one simple command lets you slice and dice huge grids of data as smooth as a hot knife through butter. All right, so our engine is humming with plenty of power. Now let's move on to the next pro-level decision you have to make right away, and that's choosing your worldview. Quite literally, you've got to pick the right map projection for the job. The very first thing GeoMapApp is going to ask you is how you want to see the world. You know, we live on a sphere, but our screens are flat. Trying to represent that round surface on a flat screen creates some, let's call it mathematical drama. This choice isn't just for looks, it is absolutely fundamental to getting accurate data. Most of the time, probably 99% of the time, you'll be working in the default Mercator projection. It's the standard for pretty much any global or mid-latitude work, and it covers the vast majority of the planet where research happens. But, and this is a big but, if you're a glaciologist or you're studying anything around Antarctica, the South Polar projection is non-negotiable. It's absolutely essential. If you tried to use Mercator down there, your maps would be so distorted they'd be scientifically useless. And you guessed it, the exact same logic applies to the top of the world. For anyone doing work in the Arctic Ocean, the North Polar view is the only professional way to go. It guarantees that your maps are accurate and your analysis is sound. So you've got your power, you've picked your projection. Now let's talk about the gorgeous canvas you're about to work on, the GMRT. This thing is the real heart of GeoMapApp's visual power. So GMRT stands for Global Multi-Resolution Topography. And that key word there is multi-resolution. This isn't just one static picture. Oh no, it's a living, breathing data set that cleverly blends lower resolution satellite data with mind-blowingly detailed sonar data that's collected by research ships. On a global scale, the GMRT gives you this stunning average resolution of about 100 meters on the seafloor. And in the spots where ships have done a lot of surveying, that resolution can get as fine as 50 meters, or even better. It's amazing. And now we've arrived at it, the single most important tool that separates the amateurs from the pros. This is how you unmask the seafloor and see the truth that's hiding in the data. Take a look at this. At first glance, it looks like a whole field of small volcanic cones on the East Pacific Rise. It's fascinating, right? You might be tempted to start writing a paper about your amazing discovery. But Wait a second. Because the professional always stops to ask this question, is what I'm looking at real geology, or is it just a ghost in the machine? Is it a mathematical hallucination that the software created because it was just trying to guess what's in between two very distant data points? And here it is, the big reveal. On the left, you see our field of volcanoes. But on the right, when we turn on what's called the mask tool, bam, we see the truth. Those bright, colorful stripes, that's where ships actually collected high-resolution data. Our cones are sitting in that dark gray area, a region of pure digital guesswork. They're not real. And that really is the bottom line here. Amateurs get all excited by what they see on the surface, but pros always, and I mean always, check the mask to make sure that a feature is backed up by real, high-quality survey data. So let's wrap all this up into your very own pro playbook. These are the key things you can start doing right now to totally level up your mapping game. It really just boils down to 3 simple rules. 1, always launch from the command line to give yourself enough memory for a smooth, crash-free experience. 2, make a conscious choice about the right projection for your study area. And 3, the big one, always use the mask tool to separate fact from fiction on the seafloor. By following this playbook, you're not just looking at a pretty map anymore. You're interrogating the data like a professional scientist. So the only question left is, now that you have the tools of the pros, what are you going to go out and discover?
Welcome to my channel, where you'll find over 2,000 videos on geology, geochemistry, AI, and many other subjects. If you like what you see, help us grow by subscribing, liking, and sharing this channel.
I think these videos are brilliant, and I'm sure you will like them too. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell.